So not long ago, the Motobu-ryu Facebook page, which is a great resource for historical images and information, so if you don't already follow them, I highly recommend it. Not long ago they posted a set of photographs, I believe it was of some of Yabu-Kensu's students and Motobu Choki practicing Naihanchi. And in these photographs, you see them using the back of the hand for Naihanchi, the haishu hand formation. And along with that, they wrote some information below about the idea that Itosu would have changed the kata from the back of the hand version, the haishu version, to the ridge hand version, the haito version. And it was mentioned that this would have been done for safety. When this set of images got shared into the Ryukyu martial arts groups that I'm a part of, it sparked some debate about whether or not that was really true, based on the fact that it doesn't make a whole lot of sense that one is more dangerous than the other. I kind of jumped into that conversation a little bit. My belief on the hand formations in kata is that they really aren't that important that they need to be strictly adhered to and always the same. The reason being is that in application you have to fit your striking surface to the target. And what I mean by that is, if you think of medieval arrows or medieval polearms, they had different heads on them for different purposes. If it was for hunting an animal, it was a different head than for fighting someone in chainmail, different for fighting someone on horseback, different for fighting someone in plate armor. They changed it based on the targets. The same is really true of your striking. You wouldn't actually be changing the application of something if you changed a regular fist to something like keikoken, for example. The application you're doing is still the same, but because of the targets that might be available to you, it might make more sense to strike with a small surface strike. I see the same thing with the haishu versus haito argument. We actually have photographs of Motobu, and I think Funakoshi maybe, teaching an application for Naihanchi, where they use this motion to actually strike with the back of the hand to the front of the face. For striking the front of the face, that's a very, very good striking surface. It works very well for that, so it makes perfect sense that they would teach it. If you were going to strike the throat, though, then the back of the hand no longer makes sense. It's going to be too difficult to fit this under the chin to get it there. It makes more sense in that situation to use the ridge hand because it's narrower and it fits in there much more easily. It's something that you don't have to change in your kata practice necessarily, although I do occasionally vary up my hand formations in kata. It is something you have to be able to change in application when you're actually using it. The end position of your hands isn't all that important. It's the motion along the way that is actually part of the application. So the difference between a haishu and a haito isn't really that major, especially considering the fact that when you go to haito, you're going through the haishu position anyway. So you don't lose anything by doing this motion. What actually would change the application is how you get to that position. So if you are looking at this motion, if it comes out this way, in a circular or elliptical motion, that is a different technique than if it comes straight out, which is a different technique than if it went down. So all the motion it takes to get there is the important part. What you use at the end is dependent entirely upon the target you're hitting and how your opponent has moved and what you've done to them previously. So it's something that is a lot more fluid to me than, oh, well, it's just more effective this way or more effective this way. They're both effective, it's just a matter of fitting it into the correct scenario. So one or the other isn't right or wrong, they're both right in the right context.